Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another battle in Warhammer 2 today. It's been a really long time since I've uploaded any Warhammer 2 content, and with the new Norska update that has been released, I decided I wanted to play as one of the Norska tribes in multiplayer. So hopefully you enjoy this battle. Warhammer battles are not very long, but it does start off very quickly. So we'll check out the army comps, and then we'll get the battle started. The first army on the battlefield today is Wintertooth, commanded by myself, and the funds were quite low in this match. I think it was about 7k, so I had to bring a lot of cheaper infantry just to kind of make up my numbers, but surprisingly I actually have the largest army on the battlefield today with about 700 men. In the front lines I've got 4 units of these marauders. They're just the cheap infantry that Wintertooth can bring. And then right in behind that, I've got 4 units of these Marauder Berserkers, and these were a new unit, I think, that were added, and these guys look awesome. They brandish two-handed axes, or sorry, not two-handed axes, dual-wielding axes, but I've got them right in behind my Marauders because the Marauders have shields and they're much cheaper. So I'm going to use the Marauders to soak up all the ammo and then send the Berserkers in to get all of the kills. Over on this side as well, I've got 3 units of the Marauders with great weapons, which are looking really nice. And I've also got 2 units of Ice Trolls. These guys looking really cool. And they carry massive tree branches, which is really cool. And if you see, it looks like they've got some swords and, you know, weapons of fallen enemies that have kind of just gotten stuck in the ice, which is a really nice touch. I've also brought my chieftain on a war mammoth, and this is probably one of my favorite new units in Warhammer 2. The modeling on this thing is just amazing, and it would be very scary to come across this. Look at the size. Let's see if I can eliminate all but just one guy here, or if these 2 guys are fine. Look at the size of this thing compared to this one man, and this doesn't look like a small man either. This looks like maybe 6'5", 6'6", and this mammoth is just massive. And of course, look at the chieftain all glorious on top of his mammoth. He's actually got some hands too that are part of his cloak, which is a little bit gruesome. But the last thing that I have on the battlefield is a Wintertooth giant, I think they're called. No, Norskan giant. So again, just the giant that... It's basically the same giant. It's just modeled in different fashions, be it the Chaos Giant or the Beastman Giant, but nice modeling on this guy as well. But I'd have to give it to the mammoth here. Just that is terrifying. It reminds me of the Mumakil from Lord of the Rings. But that is it for my army, so let's go ahead and take a look at my allies. The second army on the battlefield today is Chaos, commanded by Shane Hoogie 11, and you can see here that he's brought Archeon the Everchosen. Really nice hero. He's looks like he's walking on a bit of fire too. Really nice. But he's brought a very small but elite army, just over 200 men. So it's about a third the size of mine. But again, he's gone for quality rather than quantity. He's got a unit here of cavalry, which is good because I didn't bring any cavalry. He's got these Swords of Chaos, which are a Chaos Knight unit, and it looks like they've got a couple of horns sticking right out of the sides of their mouths too. Little details there that really make the game very enjoyable to play, although I don't upload it that often. I should upload it a little bit more. But he's also got 2 units of Aspiring Champions over here, and he's got 2 units of Chosen. And then he has this unit of Mirror Guard Chaos Warriors, which I've never seen this unit before. I don't know when they were added in, but they look pretty glorious. Still has the Firelight Chaos Sword, but that almost looks like a one of those swordfish noses with like the teeth coming out on the end too. That would really suck to get hit in a slash with. But I think that's about it. He's got 1 unit of Chaos Halberds in here behind, which I think is his most elite infantry. And then he's also brought 2 Exalted Heroes, so very formidable force. But that is it for our armies, so let's go ahead and take a look at the enemies. The first army on the battlefield today opposing Wintertooth and Chaos is the Empire, commanded by Costas 9619, and he's brought a nice long front line of great swords here. He's got 4 units of them in the front lines, so they're going to be coming up against my Chaos Marauders, which is a little bit worrisome. But I think that's most of his infantry. He also does have a few units of spearmen to kind of bolster the ranks as well, 3 units of them. And he has 3 units of handgunners for his ranged units. And then he's got a lot of heroes here. So he's got a witch hunter. And yeah, here we go. He's got a warrior priest too. I think he's got 2 warrior priests, to be honest. Yeah, 1 on either side. And then he has an empire captain. And this is his general here, the general of the empire, which is looking very nice. And I think he brought 1 unit of cav as well, way over on this flank. He's got some empire knights, which is a cheaper cav unit, but in such a low money battle, it's really difficult to bring any of the other empire cavalry, because the demigryph knights and the demigryph knights with halberds, I think, are like 1100 and 1400. So you're spending a good chunk of change on 1 unit. So I can see why he went for a more cost-effective unit of cavalry. But we've just got 1 more army to go, and then we'll start the battle. The final army on the battlefield, and teaming up with the Empire, is Nagarythe, commanded by Lord Chance. And it looks like some of his units can be Vanguard deployed outside of the deployment zones, because he's got his general here, who is Aleth Enar, and 3 units of Shadow Walkers that are inside the forest. So very interesting that he's able to push them out and keep them hidden in the trees. I'm assuming that this is a pretty elite archer unit as well, because there's only 30 in the unit. But his main force is over here. He has 4 units of spearmen and 3 units of archers. And he's also brought a unit of cavalry here. He's brought some dragon princes. So this is a pretty elite unit. And with Nagarythe, I like the color scheme here too, because I know for the high elves it's a very baby blue and white, but this kind of charcoal gray and white really looks nice. Very nice unit of cavalry. And then way on the flanks, he's got some elite archers here. He's got a Lothern Seaguard with shields, 2 units of them, and then just a regular Lothern Seaguard unit. So that is it for the army comps, so let's get to the battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield. So I'm moving forwards my entire force very quickly in the trees, and you can see that the Chaos Forces are deployed directly behind me. So we've actually deployed all in the forest to the right-hand side, instead of stretching up across this hill. The reason for that, at least from my standpoint, was I was hoping that I could hide my entire forest in the trees, but unfortunately the massive mammoth and the giant were not able to hide, so they did see where we were deployed in the forest. However, I was very thankful that I actually decided to do this, because we actually forced this ambush out of the forest. What they probably expected us to do was to deploy in a long line over here, not so much in the forest, and then these Shadow Walkers here along with the general were probably going to sneak into the forest and try and come at us from behind. But us all being in the forest and pushing outwards allowed us to catch that just in time, which is excellent. So it looks like the Empire has formed up his greatswords here, and he's just moving forwards his handgunners to start to get some good shots off. It looks like we've got some archers from Nagarythe in here as well. They're getting a good shot. You can see right through the trees where that massive mammoth is. I think that the archers are focusing my generals, so what I do is I start to send forwards my cheap Chaos Marauders. Or not my Chaos Marauders, just my Marauders. But it looks like we're going to get a nice battle line here now. Very nice. So good charge bonus there, but those great swords are going to start to slaughter my men. And you can see we've actually got one of the heroes in, kicking down my Marauders here. And look at that, we broke pretty much as soon as we pushed in. I'm pushing very quickly with my Berserkers in to try and hold the front line. Over here, I got a nice charge with my Ice Trolls into the spears, but then we've got the Empire Knights charging right behind. And this was really good by the Empire player, because if I turn on the HUD here, my Norskin Ice Trolls here are actually breaking. So I'm not sure if that was a total new move of me to charge them into Spearmen like that. I didn't realize until later on that Spearmen do have anti-large, so that probably wasn't the best decision. And over here, the Empire Knights as well, doing really well at tying down my Norskin Ice Trolls. But over here, we've just got my General's Bodyguard in here against a horde of Nagarythe. Just destroying these elves. Oh my goodness. A lot of them do get back up, but this is a terrifying sight to behold. Look at him just swinging around. He knocks like 20 or 30 down at one time. However, he is being focused down quite a bit. You can see he's at about half health. So I've quickly moved over one of my Marauder Berserkers to help out my general. And over here, I'm going to get a nice flanking charge. Let's go ahead and put this on slow motion here. These battles just go so quickly. It's pretty crazy. Looks like we've got some of the Nagarythe spears in here supporting the greatswords, but now I've got some of my berserkers coming right in from behind. The greatswords not even noticing this. There we go, throwing them down. And here we go. Is this guy going to kill the spear? Yes, it looks like he does. So good flanking fire there. It was really too bad by the Empire because these handgunners here, I keep wanting to call them Thunderers, but that's the Dwarven ones. These handgunners actually had the potential to get a lot of kills, but the problem is the formation that they're in. It didn't lend them to the fact that all of their troops were kind of in the front lines already. So a lot of these handgunners here were obstructed almost the entire time. You can see that their ammo bar is almost full on all three of them. And we've also got some archers that are still very healthy as far as their ammo is concerned. Elith Enar is retreating because the Chaos Warriors are moving forwards. And the Swords of Chaos here, the Chosen Knights, are just running around looking for targets to hit. Thankfully, my trolls do come back. You can see that I've got a couple units of my trolls that just managed to rally before they went across the white line. So I will start to move them back into the fray. But it's still dead even. We've got 516 men, and they have 833. So they do still outnumber us, but I think that's just due to the fact that Chaos brought such a small elite force. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this back on here. See my general in action once again. Oh my goodness. That has such a terrifying sound. If you guys can see too, he's moving around quite a lot, but the end of his trunk is almost like a claw, which is really, really cool. Just terrifying. But yeah, we're breaking through now. Here, I'm sending my Marauders back in who have routed. My Norskin Ice Troll is looking a bit like a pincushion. He's really being focused down by the archers. But he's been doing a good job as well. Oh, terrifying roar there. And what do we got? What are we fighting in here? Not exactly sure, but I think most of them are gone now. Yes, and the Empire and the Nagarythe player kept trying to pull back with their skirmishers to this hill line to be able to get some good shots off, but the Chaos player is not allowing that to happen. He is just running around with his Chaos Knights here. Let's go ahead and jump in and see from their perspective. Yeah, it looks like we got the Shadow Walkers trying to stop these Chaos Knights. Yeah, these Chaos Knights are just so elite, so heavily armored. And look what's coming in behind. I've got my Berserkers, and right behind that is my Norskin Ice Troll. Or my Ice Giant, sorry. Here he comes, lumbering into battle. Yes, Lord! And I'm going to free up these Chaos Knights for him. I'm not sure if I'm getting a bit of friendly fire with this Giant or not. But yeah, my Trolls managing to rout the Empire Captain over here. And we're just securing this flank over here. You can see that one unit of archers is still alive on this side. But here comes my general in as well, chasing down these handgunners. I don't want them to get a good position to be able to fire down on me. I'm already quite weak as far as the Marauder Chieftain is concerned. But how terrifying is this if you were a handgunner trying to escape from this here? Oh, good night. Oh my goodness. Just destroying this unit. Oh, he actually grabbed one in his trunk and is waving them around. Wow, that is a really cool mechanic. And now we've got some of the Lothern Sea Guard trying to stop the Marauder Chieftain, but it's almost like he is unstoppable. Wow. And my Giant over here destroying what's left of the Shadow Walkers. A couple of them are trying to fire point blank. You can see that they are sitting right here, and they've got a good position to fire into the troll. But I've got a couple of my berserkers over here, and it looks like Archeon the Everchosen is moving in as well to fight some of the Shadow Walkers.
That's what the Master's bid!
He's carrying that massive shield. Looks like they're firing on my ice trolls as well. But I think the balance of power is starting to swing into our favor here with the last 30 seconds. We've got 309 men and 230 for the enemies. I was going to say attackers, but we're technically both attackers in this, aren't we? And there we go. Archeon with his elite chosen warriors there, fighting the Shadow Walkers in melee. Oh my goodness, yeah, just thrashing them.
Yes, Lord!
And there we go. We had decided to chain route, but there we go. A Pyrrhic victory. So let's take a look at the results here. Man, guys, I know it's super expensive, especially in low money battles, but it's so worth it to just get that Marauder Chieftain and put him on the Mammoth. Because 117 kills there, that's a really good score. You can see my Marauders getting cut down. But they served their purpose, serving as the meat shield that I wanted them to serve as. And then my Marauders with great weapons, a couple of them doing okay. They're still quite cheap. But my Berserkers is where I got most of the kills there. And the Norscan Ice Trolls didn't do too bad. And the Giant, that's alright, I guess, for him. Looking at my ally, though, Archeon, 32 kills, his Chosen doing really well. Looks like the Exalted Heroes were both killed early on in the battle. I didn't see that. But well done with the Swords of Chaos and the Mirror Guard getting 61 kills. And even the Chosen with Halberds, look at the 65 kills, and their health bar is almost full. So that's a really good unit. Very expensive, but very good as well. Looking at Nagarythe, a little disappointed. Alith Enor only got 1 kill. The Spear is kind of a mixed bag. Archers, not as many kills as they should have. And it's so unfortunate these Lothern Sea Guards. See, they were fighting my Mammoth the whole time. So I don't think they were able to use up a lot of their ammo. The Shadow Walkers, I mean, I don't know how expensive these units are, but I feel like they should have got a little bit more kills than that. And then we have the Dragon Princes with 40. And then Costis 9619. The Empire, the General of the Empire, actually not killing anyone. That's not good. I think there was a little bit too many of the heroes in this low money battle. They just didn't seem to pay for themselves, because a lot of these warrior priests and the witch hunter are quite expensive. And he's also, because he spent so much money over here, he's had to bring a lot of cheaper units like the spearmen with shields. His great swords really carved up my marauders there. A lot of kills for them, but unfortunately the handgunners too, they had the potential to get a lot more kills. They had a lot more ammo, but they just weren't in a good enough position to be able to do that. And the Empire Knights, only 7 kills, but that's probably 7 trolls from rear charging my Norscan Ice Trolls. But that is it for the battle, guys, so I really hope you did enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And if the sound is still a little off, I'm still trying to fix it for all of my Total Wars. I'm noticing that it can be a little bit nasally, but I'm trying to fool with my amp settings to get that perfect for you guys. So without further ado, guys, I'll see you in the next one.